So we've all grown up with comics, haven't we? Our parents have grown up with comics. We've grown up with comics. We've seen movies, video games, TV series about our favorite comic book characters. Here's one we're talking about today. The probably most popular one in history. We're talking about Batman today. So, from what we know, the Batman hit cinemas in March of 2021, and since then, it's heard nothing but praise for the story risk it took and for depicting a more brutal and more grounded version of Gotham City with Robert Pattinson, famous for playing a one off role as Cedric Diggory in the fourth Harry Potter movie and the pale vampire boyfriend Edward Cullen from Twilight. Yeah, that was a dark time in a career. So he took on the mantle of Bruce Wayne and the Batman, a more younger, more aggressive take on the character that was different from the more measured and action packed versions of Keaton, Bale, Kilmer, and Affleck. We don't talk about Clooney. So Keaton and Affleck are reprising their roles as Batman in the upcoming Flash movie with Ezra Miller and Sarah Call. But when we think of Batman, Bruce Wayne, when we think of Batman, the very first thing, aside from the symbol and Nolan's trilogy with Bale, the definition of Batman is the suit and the cowl that make him this image of fear. And that's not just because he's a silent operator, but because he very much is always scowling at you no matter what he's doing. The face always screwed into that menacing scowl that makes your skin crawl. Which really begs the question. The animated versions and the comics have always needed to add line work to show that scowling expression. But when it comes to live action or video game adaptations, what's the story there? What happens there? Well, that's pretty damn simple. From every video game he's been in, from DC Universe Online to the Injustice game series to the Batman Arkham video games, we've seen close-ups on that cowl, and some of these games even have photo mode to allow you to actually focus in on the cowl itself. And basically what Batman does is his cowl is basically modeled after the human head. Interesting, right? Let's get into it. So, Batman's cowl we've seen in various forms of media. It's been fairly consistent in the way it looks. So, it's always got the pointed ears with openings for the eyes and an opening for the mouth with a pointed nose. So, it kind of looks like a bat head, like a bat's head. But the weirdest thing that the media says is that it has the ability to kind of prevent blunt force trauma or any repetitive trauma or letting him get shot in the head or preventing any fatal wounds. So that really begs the question, so what is the thing made of? Because the way it stretches throughout the media, the movies, the animated TV shows, the animated movies, the comic books, it always seems to stretch enough for him to actually move around in comfortably and easily be able to maneuver while fighting, while moving, while basically doing anything. So what is the thing made of? Some people say that there's an outer coating on it, sort of like a resin layer, a ballistic resin that basically prevents any sort of damage to the cowl. But then we've seen in multiple forms of media that the cowl is the very first thing to actually take multiple types of damage. For example, in Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice 2016. You had Ben Affleck's Batman take damage to the cowl, where the left side of his cowl, so from the outside of the mouthpiece to the top of the eyebrow, his face was practically exposed. Then in the Injustice video game timelines, you had a version of Batman that had taken so much trauma to the head that his temples were kind of worn away on the cowl itself. Then you had the Under the Red Hood movie where Jason Todd slashes at Batman with a knife and cuts across the neck piece, which is part of the cowl itself. So, and it underneath it shows a layer of armor, which is obviously the neck armor. But again, that doesn't lead any credence as to what the cowl is made of. However, I can say with confidence it may be some sort of ballistic material that prevents him from taking damage, but is also fluid enough to allow him to move around very easily and without much limitation whatsoever. But here's the thing, that's not what makes Batman frightening. Like I said, he's obviously a silent operator. He knows what he's doing. He uses fear as his main tactic, as a main method to take down, to sort of put the fear of God into his enemies. So, what is it about Batman that makes him such a terrifying force of nature? What is it about Batman that the second you look at him, you immediately think, I need to run now before I get my bones broken? Before I proceed with this any further, I hope you're liking the video. If this video you think other people are going to enjoy it, please go ahead and share it. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want, share with your friends or your family or with any other Batman fan who's kind of confused on why he's so terrifying the way he is. Or just, and please be sure to visit my socials in my, on my channel page. So I have a link tree in my bio that allows you to access so this YouTube channel and another alternate YouTube channel, my Spotify that I put my own original music out on, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying this. So let's get into the explanation. Now, the answer to that question is kind of heartbreaking when you think about it. Because you're not going to expect that to be the whole reason behind why Batman is so feared. But really, it's all in the cowl. It's the way, not just the way he moves, but it's actually the cowl. The cowl itself is the biggest intimidation point. In the, I mean, if I was to give you a physical example, for example, just imagine you're walking down a dark street. You've got nothing. It's raining out. You've got street lights. It's dark around you, basically. You're walking down an alley. It's dimly lit. And in the distance, and obviously you're a pretty shitty person. And in the distance, you see this figure. It's tall, imposing. Looks like it's, 12, 13 feet tall. It is massive. It is jacked. It has ears that extend to the sky, and it has eyes that are just staring into the depths of your soul. What are you going to do? You're not going to stand there. You're going to try and run the other way. That's the human response. You see danger, you are going to look it in the eye. You are going to think, no, I am not God's strongest soldier today, and you are going to run. You are going to book it faster than Usain Bolt or Phelps in a pool. You are going to absolutely run to save your life. And that's why the cowl is the biggest intimidation point for Batman. And the second he gets up close to you, you're gone. There's no way you're leaving anywhere without racking up a hospital bill. Batman's cowl obviously leads credence to why he's come up with the moniker I am the Knight. I am vengeance. I am Batman. The actual cowl itself is terrifying in the sense that you can only see his eyes, and because you can only see this scowl. Now, what you'll see in most cases is you're gonna see a scowl that is so menacing and so terrifying that the first thing you're gonna think of is either you wish you were dead or you wish this is going to be over quicker. And that's the thing. Every Batman cowl we've seen across all forms of media has had a different frown or a different scowl in every version that we've seen. It has any close up will show you that the scowl is always part of the cowl itself. The frown is part of the cowl. It is not something he does underneath it. The cowl is effectively this hard coating on his head, for example, like a bicycle helmet or something, that kind of prevents him from taking major damage to the head, therefore impairing his abilities to move around and to act. Like, look at the cowl that he has here. So this is from Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. So this is from the era of old man Bruce Wayne. And you can see the frown that he's got on that striking blue cowl that really stands out as the kind of quintessential Batman cowl. And a lot of people started after this began to notice that every Batman cowl has had one of these since, well, for years, decades even. So obviously, if you're gonna see a frown like that on a man dressed as a bat who can move faster than your eyes can see him, and he will leave you with more than a few broken bones, quite a bit of a hospital bill to be honest. You're immediately gonna run away in fear. You are going to try and save your life as much as you can, because that's the normal thing to do, anyways. So what then? What are you gonna do at that point? And that's the whole thing behind what makes Batman so terrifying. Why he's such a harbinger of just terror and fear and heroic justice even. What sounds like a paradox, trust me, I know. But it's real, people. Believe me. If you see that cow walk up to you and ask you questions, you are going to answer all of those questions, even if you don't know the answer to all of them. You're still going to answer those questions because you do not want to risk looking into those eyes and thinking, yeah, I'm going to leave here with more than a few broken bones. I'm going to leave here with my life completely altered. So, to put it simply, the reason why Batman is so terrifying is primarily because of the frown or the scowl on his mask. That is the main reason why the entirety of Gotham's criminal element is so afraid of him. It is because of the way that he looks. Because you can only see the man's eyes. You cannot see the entire face. You don't know what he's thinking. You don't know what his intentions are. The only thing you can see are his eyes that are just glaring at you. So, to summarize, Batman is so terrifying because of not just the way he moves, not just the symbol, and not just because he can break you in hundreds of different ways, but because of the cowl. The face that you see is not something human. In fact, it is something that you will see in what is going to plague your nightmares for years to come, for decades to come. Even despite your best efforts to forget it, anyways, it's still going to haunt you because when things frighten you the way Batman does, you are not going to leave the same man that you were before that. You are obviously going to change. So, Batman's cowl is effectively the same shape as the frown of every person that has worn that cowl. It is molded to fit the shape of the head of that person. So, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for today's video. I am currently working out a bit of a posting schedule right now because I am running two channels, obviously. So Obviously, I am gonna work things out, but hopefully I will be posting fairly regularly or according to my schedule once I figure that out. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you liked it. Please share the video with any Batman fans that you know or within the community. Please like and subscribe. The buttons are down there. They're also going to be on the end screen later. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.